Good evening to all of you. Thanks for joining us here on The Big Focus. I'm Afrida Rehman Ali, and this is the show that turns your focus to issues that matter to you in your day-to-day lives. And one such issue is the issue of political interference in the duties of government services. So that affects your life, it affects the citizen's life. Let's talk about this incident that happened in Karnataka. Mudigere MLA MP Kumaraswamy takes police sub-inspector on duty to task for, believe it or not, for reporting on duty. Yes, the Neta was miffed that the wrong officer was reporting for duty, not his preferred one. The MLA asks the police sub-inspector, therefore, to return home and not to report to work, accuses him of bribing a senior police officer for getting the posting. The audio clip of that telephonic conversation is what we are going to play out for you so that you can hear what exactly is the kind of political high-handedness that this Neta operates at. Let's play out that audio clip where you will hear the MLA speaking to this police sub-inspector Ravish, an audio clip that has now gone viral in the Chikmagaluru district of Karnataka. Let's listen in.
Hello? Hello?
ಯಾರಪ್ಪ ನಂಬರು
ಸರ್ ನಾನು ರವೀಶ್ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಸರ್.
ಎಲ್ಲಿದೀಯಾ
ಸರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್.
ನಾನು ಬೇಡ ನಾನು
ಸರ್ ಐ ಜಿ ಸಾಹೇಬರು ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಸರ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಂತ.
ನೀವು ವಾಪಸ್ ಹೋಗು, ಬರೆಯಂದು ವಾಪಸ್ ಹೋಗು.
ಸರ್ ಐ ಜಿ ಸಾಹೇಬರು
ವಾಪಸ್ ಹೋಗಲೇ ಕೇಳು, ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾರೆ.
ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಆ ಥರ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ
ವಾಪಸ್ ಹೋಗು, ಬಂದಾಗ ಹೋಗು. ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ನಾನು ನಾಳೆ ಡೆಪ್ಯುಟೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನೋಡು, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ನಡೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಐಜಿಗೆ
ಸರ್
ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾರಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ ಅಂತ.
ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಆ ಥರ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ನಾನೇನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವರೇ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು.
ಹೊರಟೋಗು, ಹೋಗು, ಬಂದಾಗ ಹೋಗು.
ನಾಳೆ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್, ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಭೇಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್.
ಐಜಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಮೂಡಿಗೆರೆ ಮಾಡೋರು.
ಸರಿ ಸರ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ನಾಳೆ ಬಂದು ಭೇಟಿ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ.
ಅವ್ನಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ ಐಜಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು 10 ವರ್ಷ ಬಂದ್ರೆ
ನಾಳೆ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್, ಭೇಟಿ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ.
ಮರ್ಯಾದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೋಗು, ವಾಪಸ್ ಬಂದರಿ.
ನಾಳೆ ಬಂದು ಭೇಟಿ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ.
Yes, so those of you who could not understand, and though we tried to run the translation for you, let me tell you that this is the audio clip where the MLA is asking the sub-inspector why he reported for duty, though that is the person, the MLA in question, had instructed him not to. He says, go back to the station, I had told you not to report for this duty. So here, the Neta feels he is the one to decide who is to be deployed where. When the police officer responded that he took charge as per direction of his senior officer, the IGP, the MLA said, I know how much you paid the IGP. I cannot accept this. You should not be working here. Let me go across to my colleague Imran, who is joining me here on the program to tell us a little bit more about this incident. Imran, very good evening. Before I go across to our panelists this evening, I want to take a quick word from you that this is apparently not the first time that Mr. Kumaraswamy has behaved in this manner. There's an incident earlier this year in the month of January where he gets into an argument with cops deployed on the highway. So it's a pattern now. The problem here is that the Netas feel that they should have a say in deployment of their preferred officer. Is that what this case is about?
Well, absolutely, and in a way, what he's saying is the norm here. Wherever the officers are deployed, is deployed based on the liking of the local MLA or MP of that area. And most of the time, it's the MLA who decides who the inspector will be there in his particular constituency, so that they can be subservient to him and he dances on his tunes. Now, this is an incident which happened with Mudigere MLA MP Kumaraswamy. He's been known for disrespecting police officers, not giving the respect they deserve, and he speaks in very similarly when he talks to Ravish, who has been newly appointed and sent by the IG. You can see from the audio that Ravish is begging that, he's been sent by the IG and he will come to and meet him tomorrow. A very surveillant attitude there on the part of the officer there. He knows that his life is on the hands of this MLA, and the MLA brashingly, very similarly, says him to go back, and he also goes to the extent that who is this IG, and he says that I am the IG of Mudigere, the constituency, and he tells him that not to be in the station. When he questions him where he says the police officers, inspector says that he's in the station. He tells them not to be in the station, go back the way he has come, otherwise he'll be kicked. He also goes to tell the IG that I am the IG of Mudigere, and he says that do not step inside the police station. You go back to where you came from, and I do not accept that you being the inspector of that particular police station. Very, very VIP racism there, and high-handedness on the part of the official who's entitled to it. In fact, surprising is that when the Home Minister was asked this question is what action are you going to take against this MLA, the Home Minister says that, there was it was a breach of on the part of the MLA. He shouldn't have done that. But no action or taken against his own MLA who uses singular word against the police official, and he asked him who's there in the station to go back to his to where he's come from.
Yes.
Now imagine that the inspector doing anything or any filing any case against this MLA when he's hostage to the MLA in this particular manner.
Absolutely, Imran, you've put it so well that this just reflects the general attitude and the style of operating. The fact that the Neta thinks that the police force, almost like treating them like personal staff, which should not be the case. Imran, thanks for joining us. In fact, let me go across to our guest this evening, joining us here on the program, Mr. Mohan Krishna, spokesperson for the BJP, Kavitha Reddy, spokesperson of the Congress Party, and Mr. L N Rao, former DCP of Delhi. Thank you so much to all of you for giving us time here on The Big Focus. Before I go across to the discussion, let's also listen into what the MLA had to say in his defense. Here comes a response when he was questioned on his attitude. This is what Mr. Kumaraswamy said.
ಸರಿ, ನಾನು ಪ್ರಿವಿಲೇಜ್ ಕಮಿಟಿ, ನಾನು ಶಾಸಕ ಸಮಿತಿ ಇದೆ, ಪ್ರಿವಿಲೇಜ್ ಸಮಿತಿ ಇದೆ, ಆ ಸಮಿತಿಗೆ ಹಾಕಿ ತನಿಖೆ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ನನ್ನ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದು ಒಬ್ಬ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿ ಟ್ಯಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ದ, ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದ, ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಅದನ್ನ ಸದನ ಸಮಿತಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಹಕ್ಕುಚ್ಚಿದೆ, ಅದೇನು ಲಂಚ ತಗೊಳಕ್ಕಲ್ಲ. ಲಂಚ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಯಾರತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು, ನಾನು ತಗೊಳಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೇಳಿ, ನಾನು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಅದು ನನಗೆ ಅವ್ನು ಬ್ಯಾಡ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಇಷ್ಟಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ನು ಮೊದಲ ಬಾರಿಗೆ ಬಂದನು DC SP ಎಲ್ಲ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲಗಿಂತ ಮೀರಿ ಅವನು ಒಂದಿದ್ದ ಟ್ಯಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಯಾನ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೋದಾ? ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
Mr. Mohan Krishna, if I can come to you first, you heard what my colleague said and you heard what the Neta has to say. I mean, clearly he is unrepentant, far from any remorse. He says that officer should not have been there. So I think here is an MLA who believes that the police force is at his beck and call. He says, I am the IG of Mudigere. What IG are you talking about? Is this how your party MLAs operate in Karnataka?
Good evening, Afrida. It's very unfortunate that you have misunderstood Mr. MP Kumaraswamy. We know him well. He is one of the very honest MLA I have come across. Kavitha Reddy, because she has not seen honest MLAs in their party, so she is nodding her head, I can understand. Look, Mr. Kumaraswamy is of the view that he wanted a right candidate as an inspector for PSI. So he had requested Home Minister for that. For that matter, he has said that he did not say about that conversation, but the fact of the matter remains is that he has spoken to him, and he has, in fact, with respect, he has said, with due respect, please don't report. That is what he was saying, because he wanted another very honest police officer there in his position. So he didn't know that from which, how this posting has happened. So for that matter, he was just talking to him.
So I don't understand this. You're saying that there are honest officers and there are dishonest officers, and a Neta will choose, an MLA will choose who is to serve him on a particular location.
See, not that way. Not the honest. I'm not talking about that. He is a very, very straightforward MLA, Afrida.
You are endorsing him as an honest MLA, straightforward MLA. He is a paragon of virtue. But his conduct is visible to us, sir. We heard him speak to the police sub-inspector. So let's not try to do this endorsing after we have heard the MLA himself.
No. See, that is what you know. See, our Home Minister, Mr. Aragag Nanendra, has spoken to him. and he is also meeting him personally to explain as whatever happened. And party has also seek the explanation from Kumaraswamy why this thing happened in public. So that will be taken care. With
Yes.
regard to MP Kumaraswamy, I urge you that he is one of the very good MLA who works and who has got contact with the masses in that constituency, Mudigere constituency, Chikmagalur. If you see that constituency has got lot of labor people from across India. You have for coffee growers, for coffee, picking and
No, we
plucking
are
and
only
everything.
talking about a particular way of operating where you talk to a public servant in this manner and even dictate terms to him. Is that something permissible? Okay, let me have
That may
Kavitha
not be
Reddy
acceptable.
respond.
That may not be acceptable. So
Yes.
Home
So please
Minister
say
is going
that
to
this
speak
is
to him.
not in terms of procedure. This
No, this is
cannot be
not-
allowed.
this is not
He
acceptable.
is
Home Minister
reporting
is
to
going to
duty
talk
as
to
per
him.
the orders of a senior officer. So for the Neta to say, oh, in that case, you must have bribed him, I think is really crossing the line. Let's have Kavitha Reddy respond. Yes, Ms. Reddy.
The BJP spokesperson dragged my name into it. The point is that their government is flooded with corruption, and a senior MLA minister had to resign, and a lot more will follow. So let's not talk about corruption and BJP. They go
Kavitha Reddy,
hand in
please.
glove with
Don't talk about other
in the
issues.
Karnataka. Please keep quiet.
No,
Please
let's
keep
let's
quiet.
hear each
to
other
me
out.
decently.
I mean,
Okay,
let's be
one.
polite
The second
with
thing
each
is-
other.
Kavitha, let her
the
talk
second
to the
thing is-
question. Let her answer
Let
the
Ms.
question.
Kavitha Reddy
I am
make her
answering
points.
questions.
I will come back to you, sir.
BJP
Let Ms. Kavitha
I don't
Reddy
have to
respond.
listen to
Ms.
BJP
Reddy,
I
only
have
Ms.
the
Reddy,
highway.
please. Yes.
Yeah, the point is, this is not the first time Kumaraswamy has done this. The BJP MLA from Mudigere has done this. He has done many times repeatedly. And not only him, there are many others, Sunil Kumar, Satish Reddy, who actually abused and literally went in a crowd to hit an IAS officer. On record, it was on live video recording it was. So this is not the first time the BJP people are throwing tantrums. The second important point is the recording of the police officer's phone is by default. So there is nothing wrong in an officer recording anybody's conversation. It happens all the time. The third point is the MLA himself in this case says that you can go ahead and record. So he's actually daring the cop to do it. The fourth point is he calls the IG a corrupt man. He said, how much did you pay the IG? That is the third point, which is very important because this is where the problem starts. Today, the state of Karnataka is corrupt right from the top to bottom. This is happening. A biggest example is the PSI appointment which has happened in Karnataka, for which we are raising a lot of questions. A lot of arrests have been happened, and all of them belong to the BJP.
Yes,
Many
it is
BJP
indeed
people
an
are
important
involved.
point you are
So,
saying
and
here
the minister's-
is that
minister's
right.
brother is involved in this. So
No,
let's
no,
not talk
I am
about
just
corruption
intrigued
here.
with what you just said, that here is a member
Yes.
of the ruling party who is saying that the IG is corrupt if the IG has been bribed. So that actually, reflects poorly on you as well. Let me have Mr. L N Rao. Mr. Rao, how do you look at a case like this? Is it an obstruction of duty for an MLA to come and say, you go back to your station, you're not supposed to be here? Are these occupational hazards that the police force have to deal with all the time? And dealing with the tantrums of the Netas on a day-to-day basis, what should have been the procedure? If at all a politician feels that the wrong person is deployed, can he make a decision on those things?
Afrida, this is very sad state of affairs in the states. I must tell you again, it's in the states. Generally, the politicians influence the police officers, no doubt in that. As you rightly pointed out, that the politicians are directing the Deputy the Director General of Police. In this case, I must tell you that the police should not be influenced by any politicians. And Mr. MLA is saying that that person is honest. It means this person is not honest. It's a dishonest. If they found if some person is dishonest, there is a procedure laid down in our law. If somebody is found in illegal activities, that he should be dealt with according to the law of our land. So, not allowing to report to duty by the politicians, the officers who has been appointed by DGP of the state, that is not correct. And the police should they do it. I must say that politicians should avoid themselves to interfere in the police administration, because the police knows which person is competent, which person is not competent. I'm not talking about dishonest or honest, but competency of a police officer is seen. Which person is best suited for a particular area, he is posted there. And the politicians who is not willing to get him posted there, it means that that politician has something in his mind that what he wanted to do through that police, that person will not be doing that whatever that politician wants. So the police interference by the politicians in the police administration is very dangerous.
Yes, that's the issue, sir. That's the issue we want to address. Political interference in the functioning of the police force. Let's listen into what citizens have to say, and I'll go take one more round of observations from our panelists. But here is what the citizens of Karnataka have to say. Remember, people are watching. Those who have been elected to power must answer for this. Let's play that out, please.
As per me, it is wrong because we should never speak we should never speak rudely to anybody. So, as a human, we have to be more polite.
See, everybody has got his own self-respect. Let it be a police officer, or let it be a politician, or let it be a common man. So, it's wrong on his part. He should have taken care while dealing with him in any situation. Let it be a tension thing or whatever. But every man has got his own self-respect. So we should not hurt anybody's feelings or ego.
Not good for a MLA to speak to any other citizen as in a singular form. Whoever it is, he has to be respected the same way he should respect others to get that respect from us.
Ask you this, this is again, no party, I think, can take a holier than thou position. We all remember with N.A. Harris, the Congress lawmaker in Karnataka accused of protecting his son from arrest for assaulting a young man in a cafe in Bengaluru. He put out a public apology saying children make mistakes. So there is this, sense of entitlement. The entitled Neta, drunk on power, thinks he's running a fiefdom. It has happened in the Congress party, even though today you choose to say it's only the BJP doing this. Kavitha Reddy, your response, please.
See, N.A. Harris's case is very different. He never defended his son, even on the live television. I was in debate with him. He said if he's done anything wrong, you arrest him. I will give you the example of C.T. Ravi. C.T. Ravi, who is the General Secretary of BJP, ran away, after a hit-and-run case. The same thing happened with Ashok's son. Why are they not, arrested? So don't tell this Congress BJP thing, because BJP has consistently been doing only this, nothing else. At least we've taken action on people, and they don't take action on anybody. Pratap Simha literally hit a cop during a protest, and it was on live television. Debated for days, but nobody took action on Pratap Simha. So there are many cases. I can give you Satish Reddy with a mob attack Yashwant, who is an IAS officer, at his office, and nobody, no action has been taken. He also, attacked a IFS officer, a lady IFS officer, and no action was taken. So the questions will arise when no action is taken. Where is the action taken? That's what. If they slip up, yes, you have to take action. Our point is, where is the action? When they're scot-free, they're literally walking away, doing all these things at any given point in time. So
Mr. Mohan, Krishna, where is the action?
Why are they misusing?
Where is the action? You heard the citizens as well, that there must be dignity at the workplace. There must be certain decorum maintained while speaking to a public servant. Yes, that is the question I want to ask Mr. Krishna. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Afrida, I will quickly revert to what Kavitha Reddy said. Congress need not have to preach BJP or anybody. People of Karnataka, people of the country knows very well. D.K. Shivakumar, the main accused, already gone behind the bars. He's out on bail. Here in the assembly, he dared Ishwarappa, our former minister. You know how he had come?
No, here we are talking about rude behavior with public servants, sir. Let's just stick to that. We are talking about political interference in functioning of police. Mr. Krishna, Mohan Krishna, please respond. No, Kavitha Reddy, hold on. Mr. Mohan Krishna, please respond.
Mute her first. Second, Siddaramaiah.
First of all, you
Siddaramaiah dead.
what is the case of Siddaramaiah? Have some shame.
Siddaramaiah dead.
I'm sorry, I cannot allow this slanging match here. I would request both the party spokesperson to hold your horses. We have shown what the people have to say. We have played out the conversation. So let's not get unnecessarily defensive with this particular Neta. His display of high-handedness is amply clear. Mr. L N Rao, quick last word to you. What does the service rule say? How is what is the deployment supposed to be like? Who takes these calls? Can a local MLA decide on the deployment of the police force for any occasion for that matter?
In every police department, there is a unit that is called administrative unit. They take decision which officer should be posted where. Okay. They see their own data and their previous record, their experience, their competence, everything is seen, and then he is posted there. If we go by the rule of law, or if we go by the procedure, and if we go by the system, we should adapt independently without any interference, any political persons. But to be very frank, I must tell you the reality. These political people have some interference to the police officers posting and their deployment. That is not correct. And the Director General of concerned police state, the DG of a state, should not obey these orders of the local politicians, because if they do it, then they will be doing injustice to the officers. Because one officer, if he is really competent and he is not allowed to work there, then it is bad on the part, and that is against the public interest also. So there is a system in every police department that is called that is establishment branch, and in Delhi you can say we have made a board of senior officers. They decide on what grounds that person should be posted in their police stations or anywhere else or any unit. So
okay.
that everything should be taken on merit if we want the public should be safeguarded.
There is a certain process, there is a certain procedure. No MLA, no public representative can speak to a public servant in terms of obstructing his duty the way we witnessed today. That is not acceptable. Thank you so much, Mr. Mohan, Krishna, Ms. Kavitha Reddy and Mr. L N Rao. Mr. Rao will stay back with us for another story related to police force. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's take a short break. Coming up on the other side, political row erupts over arrests of BJP leader Tajinder Pal Singh Bagga. Stay tuned, we'll get you all the latest updates. After the high-voltage arrest drama of BJP leader Tajinder Bagga involving Punjab, Haryana and Delhi police, Bagga is now being brought to the national capital and he will be produced before the Dwarka Court's magistrate at 9 p.m. tonight. So let's just tell you that the BJP leader was arrested from his residence by the Punjab police for making inflammatory statements against Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal, and after the latter's views on the Vivek Agnihotri film, The Kashmir Files. Now, while the Punjab police was taking Bagga to Mohali, they were stopped by Haryana cops after Delhi police registered a kidnapping case on Punjab police based on a complaint by Bagga's father. So after this high-voltage drama in Kurukshetra, the Haryana cops handed over Tajinder Bagga to the Delhi police. Earlier, the High Court turned down Punjab police's plea against Bagga's transit to Delhi, and the matter has now been adjourned for tomorrow. Let's listen in to Tajinder Bagga's father, who is making an allegation against this arrest. Let's listen in.
पर आए थे घर में, उसको जबरदस्ती घसीट के ले गए, सर पे कपड़ा पकड़ी नहीं लेने दिया। मेरे को मैंने जब मोबाइल उठाया तो उसने मेरा मोबाइल छीन लिया, मेरे मुंह पे मारा, मेरे गले को दबा के मेरे को नीचे बिठा दिया। जी हाँ जी, सुबह के फिर क्या अब उसे खींच के घसीट के ले गए। दिल्ली पुलिस बहुत अच्छे तरीके से कार्रवाई कर रही है। दिल्ली पुलिस को बिना बताए हुए वो आए थे और दिल्ली पुलिस ने जो हमारा सहयोग किया है, दिल्ली पुलिस का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Politics over. Tejinder Bagga's arrest continues. BJP has called this arrest illegal and cited vindictive politics. AAP has pulled out Bagga's old records and called the action much needed, although Congress leader Sidhu slammed the AAP government for settling personal scores. Let's listen into some reactions coming.
इसी तेजिंदर बग्गा जी पर पंजाब पुलिस ने एक केस फाइल किया। क्यों? क्योंकि उन्होंने पंजाब का माहौल बिगाड़ने की कोशिश करी। उन्होंने पंजाब में सांप्रदायिक हिंसा भड़काने की कोशिश करी और इस वजह से पंजाब की पुलिस ने उन पर एक केस दर्ज किया। जो कानून की प्रक्रिया है, उस कानून की प्रक्रिया के तहत तेजिंदर बग्गा जी को 5 बार समन भेजा गया कि वो इन्वेस्टिगेशन में शामिल हों, लेकिन तेजिंदर बग्गा जी इन्वेस्टिगेशन में शामिल नहीं हुए। क्योंकि वो इन्वेस्टिगेशन में शामिल नहीं हुए, पंजाब पुलिस ने लीगल प्रोसेस फॉलो करते हुए तेजिंदर बग्गा जी के नाम पर एक अरेस्ट वारंट इशू किया और वो तेजिंदर बग्गा जी को अरेस्ट करने के लिए दिल्ली आए।
पंजाब पुलिस का दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री ने तमाशा बनाकर रख दिया है। इतिहास के 70-75 सालों में हमने ऐसा कभी नहीं किसी ने देखा होगा कि एक राज्य की पुलिस और दूसरे और तीसरे राज्य की पुलिस, पंजाब, दिल्ली, हरियाणा, आमने सामने कर दिया। आपने पंजाब पुलिस के ऊपर दिल्ली पुलिस ने अपहरण का मामला दर्ज कर लिया है। पंजाब पुलिस को हरियाणा पुलिस ने बॉर्डर पर रोक कर रखा हुआ है। पंजाब पुलिस के बड़े अधिकारी इस समय दिल्ली के थानों में बैठे हैं। कब? जब पंजाब की पुलिस पंजाब के अंदर कानून व्यवस्था को देखने के लिए, लोगों को सुरक्षा देने के लिए थी। पंजाब का पटियाला कुछ दिन पहले जल रहा था। पंजाब के अंदर गैंगस्टर वॉर दोबारा हो रहा है। पंजाब में नशा माफिया दोबारा सर उठा रहा है। पंजाब के अंदर एक पत्रकार पर कल परसों जानलेवा हमला हुआ है। लेकिन वो पंजाब पुलिस को दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री जो बदलाव की राजनीति करने आए थे, वो बदले की राजनीति कर रहे हैं। वही राजनीति जो भाजपा आज तक और अभी तक करती आई है। क्या किया भाजपा ने? जिग्नेश मेवानी जो गुजरात के हमारे कांग्रेस के विधायक हैं, उन्हें असम में जाकर गिरफ्तार करती हैं, उन्हें जेल भेजते हैं, कोर्ट में उन्हें बेल मिलती है, बाहर आते फिर एक और FIR ठोक देते हैं और जिग्नेश मेवानी वापस जेल जाते हैं। कोर्ट फटकार लगाती है वहां की सरकार को।
ये केस FIR हमारे पास दिल्ली की इन्फॉर्मेशन है, हमारे पास और कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं है कि पंजाब की पुलिस है, पंजाब में पकड़ा क्या किया। उस गाड़ी को रोक करके, और चूंकि दिल्ली की इन्फॉर्मेशन है तो हमारा काम ये था कि दिल्ली पुलिस को हम हैंडओवर करेंगे, चाहे वो यहाँ के ले जाए और चाहे यहाँ से हम दिल्ली पहुँचाएंगे, क्योंकि हमारी ड्यूटी बनती है। इस बीच में उन्होंने अपनी आइडेंटिटी बताई कि हम पंजाब पुलिस के लोग हैं, हम इनको लेकर के जा रहे हैं। तो हमारा काम यही था कि हमें चूँकि इन्फॉर्मेशन दिल्ली पुलिस की है, दिल्ली पुलिस को हैंडओवर किया है। आप या तो दिल्ली पुलिस से ले लें या वहां से दोबारा जा करके अरेस्ट करें, लेकिन दिल्ली की पुलिस को इन्फॉर्म करने के लिए वो जरूरी था। हमारा काम हमने किया। इसके बाद आगे के घटनाक्रम में उन्होंने पंजाब पुलिस ने कहा कि हम कोर्ट में जाएंगे, ये करेंगे, वो करेंगे, उनका काम है। अल्टीमेटली हरियाणा पुलिस ने दिल्ली पुलिस को सौंप दिया, दिल्ली पुलिस लेकर दिल्ली चली गई है। आगे का काम पंजाब पुलिस जाने, दिल्ली पुलिस जाने, हरियाणा पुलिस का उसमें कोई रोल नहीं है।
Mr. L N Rao, former DCP of New Delhi, is still with us. Mr. Rao, you know, this is again this in a way a familiar narrative. Prior to this, a similar thing happened with Gujarat MLA Jignesh Mevani, who was arrested by Assam police in Gujarat, taken to Assam in a case related to an inflammatory tweet against the Prime Minister. This time it's a statement against Arvind Kejriwal, for which the Punjab police arrests Tejinder Bagga, and of course the Delhi police comes to his rescue. I want to understand from you, Mr. Rao, that, you know, is this kind of state police extending its jurisdiction to another state, is this something that is under due process of law and can be done?
Afrida, I must tell you that the political interference in the working of police is not good and not better for our future. Here I want to tell you that that arrest may be legal or illegal, but the procedure has been taken. The procedure for this arrest is a violation of the rules and the orders of the Honorable Supreme Court of India. There was one judgment in 1996, 18th of December, judgment of Honorable Supreme Court about D.K. Basu versus State of West Bengal. In that judgment, it was clearly mentioned that how the person can be arrested and what are to be done by the police. What measures should be taken. That police should inform the person. This is not the way. And in another judgment, where the punishment is up to 7 years, even the police is not required to arrest the person. But in this case, but I must tell you, but after giving 5-6 notices when he is not coming to Punjab, there was a procedure that Punjab police, Mohali police should have approached to the concerned magistrate of Mohali. They should have taken their warrant of arrest. After that, they should have informed the Janakpuri police station or DCP West District of Delhi that such and such person is required in this case. He should be arrested and informed the Mohali police. That would have been very easy thing to do by the police. But in this case, taking so many police officers coming to Delhi, wastage of manpower and wastage of government machinery, coming to Delhi without information to the local police, they went to their house and entered forcibly, and then they have taken forcibly, and they are going to Mohali without producing him in the concerned magistrate of that area. That right procedure that whenever any person is arrested from any police station, he should be produced before the nearest magistrate, and with that request that he is required to be taken to Punjab. Transit remand must be given, so that magistrate will give transit remand. This is the actual procedure which should have been adopted by the Punjab police. But in this case, I think that the police was under pressure of CM of Delhi, CM of Punjab, through CM of maybe whatever may be. That police, I think, worked under pressure of politicians. That should be avoided.
Absolutely.
And the police should only do their duties as per law of our land and procedure set by the CRPC, IPC, and on the directions of the Honorable Supreme Court and other courts which have been given from time to time. So this is a case where the police has been made a tool for taking political vendetta. It seems like this.
Absolutely, Mr. Rao. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us this perspective. And that was an entire idea to address this issue. Interference of the political class in government functioning, something that in both these cases, the story that we brought to you earlier as well, that just shows that this is a larger malaise that exists, which must be corrected. Mr. L N Rao, thank you so much for your time. Union Home Minister Amit Shah condemned the death of a Bharatiya Janata Party worker in Kolkata's Chitpur Kosipur area, calling it political murder. Amit Shah demanded a CBI investigation. A BJP worker member was found hanging from the ceiling of an abandoned building. This is what the Union Home Minister said.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता अदालत के सामने गए हैं कि इसका वीडियोग्राफी के साथ पैनल पोस्टमार्टम हो और इसकी जांच सीबीआई को सौंपनी चाहिए। भारत सरकार का गृह मंत्रालय भी इस घटना का गंभीरता से संज्ञान लेता है और आज ही गृह मंत्रालय ने वेस्ट बंगाल सरकार से रिपोर्ट तलब की है।
All right, so you have Mr. Amit Shah taking very strong note of this case, calling it a political murder, seeks a report from the Bengal government as well on this. Amit Shah condemns this entire episode, says this is something for which the Bengal government must be held answerable. Therefore, a report is being sought from the Mamata Banerjee government in West Bengal. Amit Shah has called it a political murder. Let me go across to my colleague Tamal Shah joining us. Tamal, this issue is taken up quite clearly at the highest levels now with Amit Shah coming up with such a strong reaction.
Well, that's right. Union Home Minister is on a two-day tour of West Bengal. Yesterday, he was there in the northern part of the state. Today, after coming down to Kolkata from airport, he has straight come down to Kashipur and visited the spot from where the body of BJP Yuva Morcha leader Arjun Chaurasia was recovered under mysterious circumstances. That itself is an attempt to underline the significance BJP is trying to attach to this developing situation. Union Home Minister Amit Shah had suggested, as a BJP leader, he has condemned this incident. Also, as a Union Home Minister, he confirmed that the Union Home Ministry has sought a report from the state government. He has straight away called it a political murder. Now, he has also slammed Mamata Banerjee government as how the deteriorating law and order situation could be a matter of concern for the state. Well, Trinamool Congress has rebutted. Trinamool Congress has questioned as how the Union Home Minister has arrived at the conclusion that it was a murder, but let alone a political murder, without any kind of investigation even to begin. Mind it, after this incident came to fore, there was massive chaos, commotion, clashes, and of course, there were also political blame game. And in middle of all that, the body was held back by the family for good several hours, and police were registered from taking the body for post-mortem. Eventually, police managed to literally wrestle out their way and take the body out for post-mortem. But BJP had soon moved to Calcutta High Court with the family, asking for a CBI probe and also asking for the post-mortem process to be absolutely fair, and that it should not be given to police completely. The Calcutta High Court has instructed Kolkata Police to conduct the post-mortem at Command Hospital and not at SSKM or RG-Kor, which are the usual state hospitals where otherwise the post-mortems are usually done. But it would now happen at Command Hospital and under the supervision of autopsy experts from Kalyani AIMS and RG-Kor AIMS experts. So the family has demanded for a CBI probe. Union Home Minister Amit Shah too has hinted that the matter should be given to CBI. But the state government of Mamata Banerjee, Trinamool Congress political party, they are both in a way questioned the intent of BJP as their alacrity in calling for a CBI probe and also in jumping to the conclusion that it was a murder, political murder, without any investigation. We have to wait and see which way the investigation goes and how the face-off lasts, or how long the face-off between BJP and Congress lasts over this.
Yes, Tamal, thank you so much for giving us a detailed understanding of this incident. With that, it's time for us to take a short break. When we return, we'll tell you how you can now pay in Bitcoins if you make any purchase from Gucci. The Italian luxury brand Gucci will start accepting payments in cryptocurrencies soon in the United States.